Hello and welcome to the Fullerton College Print 101 class. This is your professor Ben Kiewit, and today I'm going to show you how to create a dummy for a 16-page booklet made out of two 8-page signatures. You're probably thinking that's awfully specific, but it's actually rather common. The demo I'm going to do, I will do twice for you. The first time through, I'll do it on the fast side so I can show you the whole process so you know what you're in for. The second time around, I'll do this a little bit slower so you can follow along at home. Alright, in order to make this 16-page booklet out of 8-page signatures, those of you good with some basic head math will know that's probably going to take 2 signatures. A signature is a folded sheet of paper with multiple pages imposed onto it. So we're going to fold 2 sheets of paper to make our 16 pages. We're going to basically do the same thing twice, although I'll do it 4 times because of the video. Twice for me and twice for you. So we'll take the sheets of paper and we're going to fold them in half in perpendicular directions 2 times. The second fold makes the spine. So the direction of the second fold is going to matter on which way your pages face. The file I've created as a demo runs landscape, although you might want to do portrait. So if you choose to do portrait, just do this on the other edge first. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sheets, I'm going to do one and then the other. I'll take a sheet and fold it down to make the tops of the pages. Line it up as clean as I can, although for a dummy it doesn't matter if it's not perfect. But some of us are perfectionists and it will matter to us. I would know and it would bother me. So I folded it one direction. Now I'm going to fold it the other way. And the direction of the grain of the paper was fighting me a bit, but this is a single signature. By folding it twice, I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages. In order to make a 16-page booklet, I need to make 2 of these. So now we do it again to make our second signature. Let's go ahead and fold it the same way we did last time. First, the long way. My kindergarten teacher would have called this the hot dog fold. Line up the long edge, and again, don't worry about getting exactly 100% lined up unless you're actually going to be binding this, in which case, worry about getting 100% lined up. Second fold goes this way, and there we go. We now have 2 signatures. Now, to make this into a proper booklet and to get the correct page order out of it, here's the next step and the little trick for it. Sorry, I just kicked my tripod. Totally professional, right guys? So we open up one of these signatures to see the inside of it, and we take the other one and we place it inside of it. So you can see now, let's try and show this well on here, there are 2 signatures and they are interwoven towards the middle. In an actual booklet, you would saddle stitch along that edge, holding both of these together. So now I'm going to go through with a marker. In no way am I sponsored by Sharpie, but I do like their stuff. We're going to go ahead and write our page numbers. Page 1, page 2, make sure I'm on the screen here, page 3, and 4. Then the other signature picks up with page 5 right in here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Putting it back inside here, it was easier in the video to pull them apart. You can definitely keep them together while you do this. 13, 14, 15, and the back cover should show up as 16. So now, when you take one of these signatures apart and unfold them, you now have a guide to which pages go where in your booklet and in what order. I'll do the outside one because this is the one that has the front and back cover on it. If you open this up, you can now see that you have page 16 on the left and page 1 on the right. There you go, whole thing's in now. 16 and 1, and then 4 and 13. One of the tests to make sure you've done this correctly is that it should always add up to one more than the page count of your book. Since this is a 16-page book, that means we're looking for the number 17. So page 1 and page 16 being across the spine from each other makes 17. Turning it over, we have 4 and 13. That makes 17. And on the inside, 14 and 3 and 2 and 15. There's the 14 and the 3. Also make 17. So that's a way of checking yourself. And that also means, by the way, that the center spread, the absolute middle of your book, should be the middle two numbers. So in the middle of 16, 8 is half of that, so 8 and 9 make up the center. Make it so you can see that. 8 and 9 make up the center spread of the booklet. So that was my quick rush through. I'm going to show you a slower go through. It would help if I put these together correctly. There we go. And when you go through the corner and flip through it, all the pages are in the correct order. Okay, so now we're going to do the second signature. We built the second booklet. We built the first example at Ben on coffee speed. We'll try to slow the second one down so you guys can follow along. So again, you need 2 sheets of paper. I did not mention this the first time around. If you have full-size sheets of 11 by 17 or 12 by 18, larger papers, which are what the actual assignment's going to be based off of, that's great. If not, it is totally possible to make a very useful dummy using a different size of paper, so long as the page order and folds are the same. You may not be able to design the proportions of your page that you're going to work with, but that's fine. This is mostly there just to show you what order things need to go in and what orientation, so that after you're all done and it's all bound, it's in the right order, facing the right way. Okay, here we go. Second booklet. I'm going to do this the same way as my first one, which was to make a landscape booklet, which is to say it is bound on the short edge. But remember that if you want to work portrait, and in fact that is more common, all you have to do is change the order of the folds and fold the short way, the hamburger fold, thank you Mrs. Dowell, first, as opposed to the hot dog fold like I'm going to do. So, the first thing is to, there's some wet up there on that part of the table, take your sheet of paper and fold it once. The first fold makes the top of the page that will get trimmed off in a finished booklet. The second fold, on mine, then folds this in half perpendicular to the first. And that makes one signature. Remember, a signature is a single sheet folded. You can have multiple signatures in a book. Most books do. You can also have a single signature in a booklet. Some booklets do. Oh, and again, just as a quick side note here, if you wanted to do a portrait book, you would fold this way first. But I'm not going to. So, I'm doing landscape, so I'm going to fold it and make the long way there my top edge, and the short way there my spine edge. There we go. So now we have our 2 signatures. Again, the next step after this is rather tricky, so watch closely. You open one up and you put the other one inside. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyways, you want to make sure that the spine of the second one goes inside the inner spine of the first one, so they nest inside each other. That is making this type of booklet. There are other types of booklets and other types of binding where they stack next to each other, but that involves other types of equipment that we're not going to be using. So they nest inside each other. And from here, you have to do some weird flipping of pages because remember the top has not been cut off yet. On the final booklet, this would be trimmed off by a guillotine cutter so that the pages open freely. But that won't do much good for us while we're trying to work as a guide. So I'm going to renumber the pages again. You can also add little arrows to show you which way up is, or if you make sure your numbers have a clear top and bottom, that can work too. We'll start with number 1 on the front cover. Some people, if they're making only a folding dummy, will make a much bigger number in the middle of the page. I like to leave it blank so that I can doodle out or make notes to myself of what I want where, because that can also help me later on in the design process. So we're going to open up just the corner here. Remember, the top is folded down. Page 2 is inside of a flap. So I'm going to fold that out. Whoops. Got away from me there. And we're going to write a number 2 right there. Then number 3. Four is the end of the first signature. And we're on to the second signature inside at page 5. Make sure I'm on the camera here. 6 is a good idea to do the thing they do on playing cards and put that little line underneath so you know which way up is. Because a lot of these are going to be backwards and upside down when you look at them later on. 7 goes in there. The center spread of the whole book is pages 8 and 9. If you do a really good 8, which I'm not always that great at, the bottom tends to be bigger than the top. And a number 9 over here. Again, the line underneath so you know if it's a 6 or not. 10. 11 will want serifs so you can tell the orientation on it. All the other ones with in the teens are fine. 12, 13, 14, 15, and the last back cover is 16. I know I've already said it, but remember, when you open this back up and you see your 2 signatures inside, a good way of double checking that you didn't miss anything is some basic math. You should always add up to 1 more than the page numbers of your book. So if this is a 16-page book, then on the signature, 16 and 1 should be next to each other to make 17. In fact, every page pair should make 17. Up here I have 4 and 13. That's 17. Checking the back, we have 2 and 15. We have 3 and 14. Pie. 12 and 5. 8 and 9. And then let's make sure the last one's correct too. 6 and 11 is 17. And 10 and 7 is also 17. So we've checked all of them to make sure they're there. Now, if you want to do some visualizing and thinking about what it is you're going to put in what order in your booklet, you can actually put the 2 signatures back together, make notes to yourself, doodle pictures, draw a little word, or write down little words that say, I want this picture here, or I think the front cover should have a nice picture of a sailing ship on it. Oh, spoilers, that's my sample. But you can put out whatever you want to have there, and you can use it as more of a content guide as well as just a page order. But as we go into the computer, we turn on InDesign and start doing our layout, you're going to use this as your roadmap to how to lay out your document and how you're going to be able to find the correct order when you go to make your signatures. All right, that's it for the physical side of signature making. Stay tuned for the digital part.